Bred to Win, brought to you by English Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to another week of Bred to Win. Coming up, the background stories to the big winners on Tab Everest and Caulfield Cup Day. Hanover Lodge mixing elite equestrian training with pre-training expertise to prepare their exciting Inglis Ready to Race draft. The stunning grey son of So You Think, Rosehill Guineas winner D'Argento at Bowness Stud with his first foals already wowing breeders. And you'll remember her from Bred to Win a few years ago, and now with the English Digital team, Gemma Cutting in Arrowfield Stud's Horse Who Made You Love Racing. First though, another full to the brim Oz Horse news.
It's Nature Strip in front of Eduardo. Classique Legends rattling home.
Saturday has become one of the great days of Australian racing, starting in Sydney with the $15 million Tab Everest in front of a COVID lockdown-breaking crowd of 10,000. Rated the world's best sprinter, this year it was Nature Strip's turn to take out the world's richest race on turf, with the Chris Waller-trained sprinter too strong for an elite field of fellow Group 1 winners. A son of Nakoni, who is in turn a son of Bian Coney and the wonderful broodmare Nicola Lass, Nakoni stands this year at Widden Stud in Victoria at a fee of $27,500. Nature Strip's dam strike line is by the sire of Sunline, Desert Sun, and he could have been bought at the 2016 English Premier Yearling Sale, where the six-time Group 1 and now Everest winner was passed in with a reserve of $120,000.
But instead of Eyes is coming away, 4 lengths in front.
The Caulfield Cup threw up one of the great anomalies of thoroughbred pedigrees when Incentivise was totally dominant on his way to the Melbourne Cup. A son of Cox Plate winning 3-year-old Seamus Award, who's by Snitzel. Incentivise's dam Miss Argyle is by Iglesia, the sire of generally a speed stallion-ridden Tycoon. Further back is Semi Palatinsk, who's thrown middle distance to staying Group winners, so this is an extremely versatile page. Seamus Award is this year alone side Oaks winners Dewey, who also won the Coonji midweek, Media Award and Mimi's Award, and other Group winners Mr Quickie, Ethical Solution and Sovereign Award, along with Incentivise's other Group 1 wins in the Turnbull and Mackay Diva Stakes.
At the 100, Elusive Express grabbed by Yearning from last.
On Wednesday, the 1,000 guineas was won by the impeccably bred Yearning, a daughter of 4-time champion Australian sire Snitzel and ATC Oaks winner Rising Romance. Yearning was bred by Arrowfield Stud, who retained co-ownership in the valuable filly. Yearning's full brother, now named Magic, was top seller at this year's English Easter Yearling Sale, sold by Arrowfield to Hawks Racing. Godolphin's former ATC Oaks and Golden Eagle winner Colette by Hallowed Crown took her earnings past an incredible $5.2 million with victory in the Group 2 Tristark Stakes at Caulfield. Vinery sire Exceedance had his full brother Oxley Road win the Group 2 Caulfield Sprint. He was a $125,000 Magic Millions yearling sold by Newgate Farm to Stephen Gray. And late Golden Slipper winner Sebring sired Tycoon Lil descendant Daisies from Snitzel's daughter Tigress Lily to win the Ethereal Stakes, while at Randwick another daughter of Sebring, Fangirl, was too strong in the listed Reginald Allen.
But it's Creative Force that is in front by a length and a half to Glen Shield.
British Champions Day at Ascot in the UK saw a grandson of our own Choisier, Creative Force by Dubawi, win the British Champions Sprint Stakes. Baid by See the Stars was successful in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes over the mile, and Galileo's Galloway sired Seal Away to win the Group 1 British Champion Stakes over 2,000 metres. The Inglis early October online sale was topped by Hinchinbrook's son Overman, who sold to Jason Lung Bloodstock for $330,000 and is headed to Hong Kong. Saskatoon, also from Team Hawks and Alan Bell, sold to Mark Pilkington for $200,000. And sad news from Victoria, where the handsome son of Fastnet rock Striker has died at the age of just 16 from an apparent heart attack. Sire of New Zealand Derby winner Rangipo and winner of the BTC Classic and Heritage Stakes, Striker descended from the great Denise's Joy family.
Big Parade is lifting now and Standout's going with him.
The Sydney Stakes, the Group 3 Everest Consolation, was won by our English Graduate of the Week, Big Parade. The son of Deep Field was bred by Werner and David Metcalf at Middlebrook Valley Lodge and sold at the 2018 English Classic yearling sale to Steve and Jenny Summers for $160,000. His dam, Crystal Rock by Fastnet Rock, is a half-sister to Golden Slipper and Blue Diamond place-getter Zazoo from the Not a Single Doubt Snippets family of 4th Dam Easy Date. Hinek Hoopy and Jade Finlay are well known in international show jumping and eventing circles, and that's complemented by their knowledge about pre-training thoroughbreds for some of Australia's biggest racing stables. This year they present a wonderful draft for the English 2021 Ready to Race sale, with every detail on every horse available for prospective buyers.
We took on this project because I think it brings out our strengths. Hinek and I both come from a performance background, and I mean, the only advantage in that is that I, for many, many years, have managed horses and their soundness, not for 2 years, but for 20. So when we get a horse that we produce, we're trying to keep them sound for 20 years. So I think that's given me a lot of experience in knowing how to manage soundness and keep horses running at their prime for a long time. The prime in our horses' careers are about 12, really. So that is a long time managing them and producing them, and yeah, 12 is just when they're really hitting their stripes. And I've been doing this a very long time, eventing at the top level for a very long time, and it's a lot different to the 2-year-olds. I mean, I've learnt a lot working with the 2-year-olds about the issues that maybe we don't come across so often as well, both in maturity and in soundness. But it's a different game that I'm adapting to, but I feel like I have an advantage knowing how to run horses for a long time.
The clients you have, I mean, there are so many people that are supporting you, but you're also going out and buying these horses, you know, specifically to be able to race, and also, you know, to get to this sale as well as 2-year-olds. Tell me about the process involved in the last couple of years of really finding the right horses to target the English Ready to Race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, we don't claim to be experts in every field in the thoroughbred industry. You know, we're fairly new into this field. We feel we've got a really strong base of knowledge in horses, but because we don't presume to be the best, we have certainly surrounded ourselves with very knowledgeable people, and I know Duncan Ramage has been a very big influence with us, teaching us how to pick a really good horse. He's been doing it for many, many years, and we truly value his opinion. And there's been a lot of other people. Henek's worked with some really prominent people, with the Snowdens, watching what horses they buy, with people, he was with Wild Oaks for a long time too. So we've really learnt a lot from really great people with a heap of knowledge over the years, and I feel this is the first year that we really actually selected our truly own group of horses. So a couple of the horses in the draft were picked entirely by us. It's a tricky thing picking these ready to run horses, because they have to be sound enough to be a 2-year-old racehorse. They have to have a good brain as if they're a 2-year-old racehorse, but they have to also be in a competitive price range. So that's really, really difficult to pick. So sometimes we're not picking the really commercial bloodlines because you can't afford to do that. So again, I really feel that's where our knowledge of an actual horse, not necessarily just the breeding of the horse, helps us pick these horses that fit into that bracket.
510, 510.
We don't cut any corners with these horses. We absolutely make sure that these horses are treated as if they are the $1 million yearlings. You know, the preparation, we have Gary Bates very involved in our process, keeping the horses sound. We have a really amazing team of girls here that are so good at not missing anything. Because if you do miss anything, because there's such a strict time frame on this process, the horses are out of this sale. But we really feel that our swing on this sale is that we're trying to produce a horse with as much information for the purchaser as possible. So we have a little slogan that knowledge is power. So we're trying to buy these horses and produce them, not necessarily to be running the fastest time at the breeze up. We don't really feel that running a low 10 is the optimum result for these horses. What we're trying to do is produce a horse that can show that they can gallop at that age, they can gallop well, show that they look educated, that they look relaxed in the process, that they pull up sound, and then what we want to do then further with this sale is show we've got that product, but then if you buy a horse from the Hanover stables, we want to give you as much knowledge as we can. So as I said, knowledge is power. So we want to provide you with the whole history of the horse from when we purchase it to the actual day that we hand the horse over. That includes all of the vet reports, all of the management that we've done with these horses, the programs we've had on them, how many preps they've had, how many gallops they've had. We want to give you as much information as we can so that basically you're buying a horse that you know more about than you can possibly know in any other way purchasing a potential 2-year-old racehorse. Well, Hennick and I are horse lovers and we really want these horses to be the best that they can possibly be. That might mean different things depending on the horse. You know, one might be a Golden Slipper horse, one might be the Bathurst Cup winner, but we still want them to be the best horse they can be. And I feel like the more information we pass on with these horses to the new owners, then we're allowing the horse to be the best they can possibly be.
And you know, you have great staff, you know, Rom and Katie and Amy and so many others, and your own daughter Piper. It was fabulous seeing her leading one of these 2-year-olds today, and everyone is constantly learning, aren't they, in this industry?
Absolutely, and Hennick and I feel so strongly about that. While we also want the horses to be the best they can possibly be, we also want our staff to be. So we're continually encouraging the staff to learn new skills and be involved in every aspect of our business. I feel the same as with people. The more information you give them, the better they are at their job. So it really is a double-edged sword. You know, we want our staff to be the best they can be with the most knowledge they can possibly have, and the horses as well. So it's something we're really passionate about, and I think that this sale allows us to kind of showcase that and have a little bit of a different edge on our horses in the fact that we're offering all that information. And I can only see that the sale is going to grow if we encourage that kind of idea behind these horses.
Well, ultimately they're athletes, and whether they go to the sale or to a trainer, that's what's most important. And you know, you've got to identify their problems, work with them, and decide whether or not they're ready to go to a ready to run or to an early 2-year-old race, or whether they're just 3-year-olds, and you just got to accept what you've got in front of you. As soon as they start doing some work which is meaningful, these horses start changing and remodeling in their joints. It could be their fetlocks or their knees, which are the two areas that we keep a very close eye on. And as soon as we start seeing any soreness in those areas or any heat or inflammation, Jade and Hennick have gone ahead and done x-rays, made sure that we're not damaging these horses. So they've actually bought a horse to be a racehorse, and they're giving those horses every chance to actually accomplish their ability.
And you know, it's an exciting time, isn't it?
It is, it's really exciting. I sort of feel like a proud mum when I watch them being paraded around and going into the ring. And when you see our horses, you'll see the amount of work and effort and care we put into every single one of them. So I think it'll be wonderful. Our G1 Goldmine analysis this week of lot 138 by Russian Revolution from Catch You Later from the Hanover Draft shows again the 2020 match that has led to Group 1 winners Estijab, Trapeze Artist, She Will Reign and more. The added aptitude profile highlights that this is a speed pedigree, judging by the larger blue dots on the 1200 metre vertical line at 2, 3 and above. The Epaulette Dilemmas colt from Blake Ryan Racing is also a 2020 match, with the half-brother to Morton's Fork highlighted by what's become a supercross of the two 8-carat descendants, Octagonal and Commands. Interestingly, this colt's highest potential for success appears to be as an open horse over 1200 metres, but also performing well out to 2000 metres and beyond at 4 years of age plus.
A really great take by Hanover Lodge, preparing these young horses for a 20-year career, not just as 2-year-olds. And thanks to G1 Goldmine for their great analysis of these lots. Don't forget, if you follow G1 Goldmine on Twitter and direct message them mentioning Bred to Win, you can receive a full analysis of every lot in the Inglis Ready to Race sale. Time for a break on Bred to Win. Coming up, the Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week and the Silver Brumby-like D'Argento with his first foals on the ground at Bowness Stud.
Bred to Win, supported by Prized Icon, a Group 1 winner of 2 and Derby winner of over $2 million, standing at Coringle Stud in 2021.
Gunstock surges to the lead.
The Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week was from another improving son of their late stallion Tavistock, as Gunstock progressed to a win in the Ned's Classic, the traditional Norman Robinson Derby lead-up. From the Zabeel mare Zaranti, Gunstock descends from Group 1 winning Western Australian mare Hold That Smile. He was sold initially by Cambridge Stud as an NZB yearling for $180,000 to Ahukia Lodge, before he was on-sold at last year's Inglis Ready to Race sale to Import Racing. D'Argento has a number of things that make him stand out from the crowd. Everyone loves a Group 1 winning grey. His sire is the popular So You Think, and he was an elite performer on the track. Now his first foals at Bowness Stud near Young in New South Wales are showing plenty of Dad's panache and a great chance of continuing the successful High Chaparral line in Australasia. It's a beautiful part of the world down there at Young in southwestern New South Wales. Tell me, as a stud master, what it's like when the first foals arrive by a new stallion such as D'Argento.
You always hope for the best, and we're really excited about what we're seeing on the ground. Most of the foals have come out as good as we could have hoped. They seem to be very independent foals, which is something I like to see. The fillies have got a little bit of spice about them, and the colts are relaxed and independent, and they all seem to have good temperaments, great muscle, great legs. I don't think I've seen a bad-legged foal by him yet. They're very typical of the Sadler's Wells High Chaparral line, in that the bays and that he's producing generally have a nice blaze and a couple of white socks, and the ones that have thrown directly to him seem to be almost black in colour, and a lot of them are going to turn grey.
D'Argento covered 152 mares last year, which is really impressive for a first-season stallion anywhere. Only 5 other first-season sires covered over 150 mares, so that's a great accolade for him.
It is. He had a very good following. I don't know whether it was because he was a grey, or it was because of the quality of the horse and the races that he raced in. He only competed in the major Group 1s like the Epsom and the Doncaster and the Cox Plate and the Wink Stakes, and he performed admirably. He won the Group 1 Guineas, as you said, at the Rose Hill Guineas, and he was just a lovely horse, and he had a little bit of a cult following in Sydney. He was a syndicated horse owned by one of Denise Martin's Star Thoroughbred syndicates and trained by Chris Waller, and Winks's rider Hugh Bowman rode him in most of his races, and he had a really good following, and we were absolutely delighted with the response that we got from breeders to the stallion.
D'Argento himself, I mean, as you say, he's just such a wonderful looking grey. From a great Redute's Choice mare, Full As, her dam by Ken mare, so that's where all the grey colour comes from. But he's from that great estate label Loving Cup family that just keeps throwing up stakes winners year in, year out. So he really has a great pedigree backing him up.
The sire line just keeps producing, but when you put Redute's on the maternal sire line and that wonderful Speed family behind him, it all comes together to be a perfect package. He just crosses so well with such a wide variety of brood mares.
And so you think, I mean, he's having a standout season again, joint top with Schnitzel for his stakes winners, 5th in the overall sires list last year and selling $1 million yearlings and a leading sire in a number of divisions.
That's correct, yes. We've seen over the longer distances and a lot of other wonderful staying horses, but we also see horses like Peltzer win those speed races. He's getting them over all distances. You know, I think it's a wonderful testament to So You Think as a sire when he can produce horses for all distances and all occasions.
Looking firstly at some of these foals at Balness, my word, the first one we look at, this colt. Tell me what you see in him and what you're seeing that D'Argento is putting into these foals.
Well, I see a nice athletic horse. I think that's basically what I see. He reminds me a lot of the stallion in that he's just got wonderful movement, good temperament. He just looks like an athlete. You know, he just comes out looking like what I had hoped him to look like.
And the So Resilient filly, so this is from an Exceed and Excel mare, and we know, of course, this sire line with Danehill is just pretty much world's best, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We've had a lot of success breeding on that cross with Youngstar and Funstar and a lot of horses we've bred on that Sadler's Wells Danehill cross. But the horse will actually carry a double cross of Danehill, which I know is not very fashionable, but when you push it back to that 4th and 5th generation and start breeding 4x4 and 4x5, I actually like it. You see it coming to the fore in a lot of very good horses now, and I think it's more of a positive these days, coming through now as a positive rather than a negative. I love him with Exceed and Excel mares. He crosses well with most bloodlines.
Another couple we looked at were one, the LKD.
We bred her. She's from that wonderful family, the Tempestuous of Mike Willis's years ago. I just love the horse. She's just produced a wonderful looking filly. Got a lot of charisma, lovely action, good muscle definition. She looks as though she's going to go quickly, looks as though she's going to be early. What we're seeing at the moment, we're very excited about. Isadora Moore, she won 8 races herself. She was a speed machine, and she was out of a Hidden Dragon mare. It was from a wonderful mare called Jetanova. She's a good running type, and I expect certainly when you're breeding to these good running lines and mares that have produced good runners or good runners themselves, you're always a chance.
And the Tamaret colt, well, the dam is by Sepoy, of course, the Golden Slipper winner. He was a super speedster himself, but that elusive quality sire line, we're really seeing that a lot on the dam side of some really good horses.
We love elusive quality in a pedigree, and the reason we actually put that mare to D'Argento is to breed that elusive quality cross back to So You Think, duplicating a similar sort of a pattern to Peltzer. We just think it's a wonderfully successful formula and combination to get what we're looking for, and we're absolutely delighted with the quality of that foal. There'll be plenty around anyway, so I'm hoping that people will put their hand up for them, because that's the name of the game, to get them into the hands of good people and good stables. There's horses there, mares there that will suit everybody, so we just really want to see them get out there and get running just like the So You Thinks have done.
Just a wonderful stallion, and with the huge prize money on offer for middle distance races in Australia, D'Argento's every chance of leaving his mark. Coming up on the show, you'll remember her as a producer of Bred to Win a few years ago, and now for her great work with Inglis Digital, Gemma Cutting in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.
Bred to Win, supported by Hanover Lodge, preparing the elite racehorse. This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
The horse that made me love racing, I guess you could say it would be Towering Inferno. Firstly, he was the equine actor who played Phar Lap in the Phar Lap movie, a movie I discovered when I was 12. I already loved horses, not from a racing family, just the stereotypical young girl from the country, rode horses, and found the movie, watched it, loved anything about Phar Lap from there. And the week after I saw the movie, it just so happened that the Golden Slipper coverage was on Channel 9 and I watched it and taped it on VHS. Belle de Jour in 2000 coming from last. And on the same day, Tie the Knot won his second Mercedes Classic. I think you would say that Tie the Knot and maybe Sunline were the first two horses that really made me love and follow racing. Sunline most of all, as a 12, 13-year-old girl, she was at the height of her powers. She won her second Cox Plate by 7 lengths. Defeating Tie the Knot, he was in the field, Shogun Lodge, some great horses. It was a wonderful era for me to, I guess, find racing. And Sunline was a horse that I always, I guess, cheered on to win, and I was devastated when she lost her third Cox Plate bid. I've worked at Sky Racing for many years and I really love my job, love working in the industry. Caroline, I've even produced BRED to WIN for many years, as you know, and worked with yourself. And it's amazing to think that I came from someone in Yeppoon, just a young girl, not from a racing background, that loved horses. I'm standing here with my off-the-track thoroughbred, Sir Gwyn. He's, I've had him 8 years now. He's just turned 15. He's by Cape Cross out of Gwinnera, and he's a full brother to Allow, who won a Queensland Oaks. It's really fitting, I guess, when you think about it. He was owned and raced by John Cordina, who gave him to me, who I became friendly with through family connections. He was Chad Schofield's first ever winner as a jockey, so that's his claim to fame, and he's a fantastic jumper and he loves eventing and cross country. He's beautiful nature and I love him. I've been working at Inglis now for 4 years. I love my job, have great colleagues, I love the sales, they're so much fun. I work in the marketing department, look after a lot of the content with all the filming and stories we do in the lead up to the sales and Inglis Insights. It's a wonderful job and it's amazing to think that it all really did start with the Phar Lap movie and horses like Sunline and Tie the Knot that got me so passionate about racing, and here I am, I've made a career out of it. I'm in Sydney, I have my own Inglis Easter graduate that I enjoy riding, and life really couldn't be any better.
Just love those stories about people working in the breeding industry who fell in love with racing through a racing story on film or TV and through the champions of their generation. That's it for this week's show. Coming up next week on BRED to WIN, we look at the AusHorse Fast Track program, helping people enter the racing and breeding workforce with in-depth training and support. That's next week on BRED to WIN. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.
BRED to WIN, brought to you by Inglis Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.